I'm Ronnie Cooper, and welcome to Fireside Chats. Okay, I like that intro. I like that intro a lot. Today's guest is a great friend of mine and an outgoing senior, Matthew Scoville. So let's give Matthew Scoville a round of applause, everybody. There he is.
Hey dude, how's it going?
Hey, how's it going?
Pretty good, how are you?
That's good. So I hear over the summer you had some funds in Cleveland, wasn't it? Why don't you tell me about that?
Cleveland was a lot of fun. There's a lot of crazy protesters there. And I saw a lot of crazy protesters. Westboro Baptist Church was there.
Mm-hmm, the Westboro Baptist Church, really?
You know them, they
Were they saying the inflammatory F word?
down everyone's throat and swear at people.
Really?
Call people faggots.
Did you? Interesting use of language on the first show.
Sorry.
I like it already. I like this season. But I hear you did some videos, and I see on Facebook not too long ago there was a video of you jump roping.
Mm-hmm.
Why don't you tell me about that? Because I found that a little peculiar, but also interesting. Why don't you tell the world about that, please?
Well, I had a jump rope with me, and I'm a professional jump roper. I guess professional they call it, but it's growing, and I compete nationally. So I brought my jump rope with me to the protest because I figured these protests are going to be violent and all over the place, and they were pretty crazy. So I was like, hey, I'll bring my jump rope out. My friend Alex's mom was like, dude, do some jump rope tricks. And another girl there, Ashley, was there, and she was just helping him film the video. And I start jump roping in the fountain. It was like this water fountain, and I'm jumping in the fountain. I got completely soaked after like one trick, so I was like, I'm going to move over on the pavement. I'm wearing like khakis. It's like 100 degrees out in Ohio. So I go move over, do some tricks, and all these people just start like kind of crowded around like Alex, and you hear him in the background of the video like, oh my God, yeah! And it's pretty funny.
That's pretty funny. Well, I hope on the YouTube version of this episode we'll provide a link to that video so my viewers can see what we're talking about, because Matt Scoville is a jump rope king as far as I know it. He also runs the best damn station that I've ever seen at FPU. Yeah, he works at the depot with me, and he lives in the coolest house in the world.
In the world? That's a big statement.
It's a true statement.
I don't know. I feel like the house that Pee-wee lived in was pretty cool, the playhouse.
Pee-wee's imaginary playhouse. Interesting.
Yeah. Pretty good house.
So, Matt, what do we have coming up on FPTV?
Oh, okay. We have some cool shows coming up.
Okay, then why don't you tell me about these shows? And also, when's the next time Gatsby going to be on there? Because I love Gatsby.
Unfortunately, Gatsby's no longer with us. Passed away at the end of the movie. And we had to ship it back because people were getting too sad. Oh, we have new movies, though. They're coming in.
What's coming in?
We actually don't know what movies are coming in yet because people have to vote on them, but by the beginning of April, we'll have some movies for people to watch.
We'll have it. So by the beginning of April, people will be able to check their emails to see what movies are coming. And when did the survey get sent out?
The survey will be sent out after break. I'm going to get the list.
It will be sent out after break, okay.
Professor Nevius. And the business department's setting it all up or something, so they're changing the contract. We also have some cool shows coming on, especially this one right here.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Fireside Chats will be out. We have a show called Laughing in the Lounge.
Yeah.
That is Pat Delaney and my own. We helped create it. We were watching Whose Line Is It Anyway one time at A-Frame, and we were just like, this would be a cool show to do at FPU, so we started coming up with some ideas and put the show into the studio and started working on it, and it was pretty funny to watch afterwards.
I have watched a few short clips of FPTV's Laughing in the Lounge, and I can say without a doubt the host, Haley Gardner, is spectacular.
She's pretty good.
Some of the talent, like people like Just Futura, are absolute amazing. Alex Malm in that laugh is pretty dang hilarious.
Yep, he's got the cackle laugh.
And Matt Scoville, you were on there a few times, and it pretty interesting. And so was the other creator, Pat Delaney, and
Mhm.
later tonight I'll be on it with another friend of mine, Ashley King.
Nice.
Yeah, it's going to be a very interesting show, I hope. I hope it gets rowdy.
Yeah. I hope so too, because you know what? We're college kids, and everyone deserves a little comedy in college. It's pretty stressful.
Okay, so now, before we end, I want you to look into that camera and tell the children of America one thing that they should know before they go to bed.
Make sure you eat your bacon, kids.
All right, I feel that.
All right. Nice to meet you. I'm going back in the flames.
Good to have you. And we will be right back with more Fireside Chats with Ronnie right after these commercials. And welcome back. I hope you enjoyed that commercial break, but now we are back and we are joined with a new guest, another friend from the Fitzwater Center and a dear friend of mine, the Director of Politics Fitzu, Alex Malm. Hi, Alex. Hi, Alex.
What's going on? How we doing?
Pretty good. How are you?
Good.
That's fantastic to hear. How is being the director?
You know, it's really fun. Really great opportunities. Get to meet great people like Ron Cooper and work with them every day. So that's the kind of things I like.
Let me just say for clarification, I am not a great person to work with. I am a horrible person to work with.
Yes. I mean, great in the sense of great person, not to work with them. And a lot of fun. Get to work with a lot of great people like Matt Scoville and Dr. Nevius and other great people. Pat Delaney, of course. Justin.
Justin.
So many people to name. Great personalities, great people, and it's a lot of fun. So yeah.
Yeah, well, I know you've had me on your show so many times in the past. How does it feel to be on my show for the first time?
A lot of people always ask me, what's it like to be on other people's shows, and I enjoy it a lot. Obviously hosting a lot of shows over the years, in college, it's really great to be interviewed because it's not much pressure.
Yeah.
People like Ron, who are hosting the show, a lot of pressure on them, and when you just come here, show up, hang out, maybe take a nap before, and then you come on, real quick. It's great. It's enjoyable, and thank you for having me, Ron. Really great.
Well, I'm happy that you're happy to be here. Let's get down to it. So, as we know, our last guest, Matt Scoville, had spent some time over the summer at the conventions, and I hear that our friend right here also enjoyed some time at the conventions.
I did enjoy some time. It was a lot of fun. I got to do a lot of great things, working with the Herald, working with the Fitzwater Center, and more importantly, being around with great people who will have a lot of fun and really enjoy their experiences, really get the most out of every second they're there. Free time.
Can I ask you a question about, you say you work with the Boston Herald. What's that like? Because I worked with the Boston Herald
Yes.
myself. I've been published. I know what it feels like. I want to know what it's like for you to work with them at such an extent, though.
It's working with the greatest news team, I think, that in New England, certainly, and maybe one of the top in the world. I think those guys are fantastic people. Tom Chaddick, Chris Villani, Hilly Chabot, Joe Shaka, of course, our dear friend of ours, Joe Banfield, all these guys, Chris Cassidy. I remember it was funny actually. I remember you posting a picture of John Kasich at a Johnny Kasich event in the background, like 2015. You posted the random Boston Herald guy. We didn't even know who he was then, and then we got to know him a couple months later when he became one of the people in charge of really the polling at the Herald. And we were like, I was like, and I saw that a couple weeks ago, the 1 year anniversary of it, and I saw that tag, and I was like, oh my god, how. And I guess that shows, how great of friendships, we build with these people, and I think when you see your name in any kind of byline, it's really a great feeling. It's cool. People read your work.
No, yeah, I think I'd have to agree with that entirely.
I think it's great. Really, really great for the university. I think that the opportunities that students have had from it is beyond belief. I think I figured about maybe 100, 150 different things that students have done with the Herald, which is phenomenal. 150 something publications. That's unreal, I think.
No, yeah, that's absolutely unreal. So, I know that we have an internet radio show coming. We are in the process of developing that program here, which is currently under the stipulations of one Dr. Nevius, but leaving that alone, because we all love Dr. Nevius here at the Fitzwater Center. Why don't you tell me about your show, the Pierce Drive? I mean, I've been on it a few times.
Yeah, the Pierce Drive is a lot of fun. Obviously with internet radio, it's one of the cool things is you can have a lot of calling guests, and we've attracted a lot of attention from people who want to be part of the show. People from the Herald, our great friend, I think, Chris Villani, we've been on his show many times, and it's great to have him call onto our show. He called on our election night a couple months back ago. That was a lot of fun too, and it's just a way to keep people talking about politics and keep people talking about our government. A lot of things are happening in this world right now, and it's good for people to hear from students. And we have a lot of faculty members on our campus that are experts, I think, in their fields. Experts, like Donna Decker is with gun violence in schools, and Professor Cliff with about everything international affairs, and Professor Cohen, he knows a lot of things, and it's specialties too. You have someone like say Professor Levine, who's an expert on prison reform and the criminal justice reform type things, and people who are experts on the environment. All things you need when trying to cover the presidency of Donald Trump in this administration, and any administration, obviously. But when you are able to have experts call in to kind of contradict or kind of explain what's happening in our society, is really, I think, great for the university. It shows exposure. And most importantly, it's good for our students. Our students are really enjoying it. We had an SEA election special on Sunday that went really well. Had a lot of people that are running for candidacies come in and talk about the elections, and national politics, obviously, like people like you, Josh Roberts, Alex Powell, Josh Singer, Pat Delaney, Matt Scoville, all these guys who been around it, and they want to continue to talk about politics. They want to continue to be engaged, and that's just another outlet we have here at the university that I'm proud of, that really exposed our students to the fact that if you think about it for a second, Ron, not many schools have internet radio.
Yeah, that's very true.
Especially one that is like a professional brand like Backbone Radio, which is the same ones that our friends of the Herald use. So they can put that on the resume that they were on a show called internet radio show. They were a producer for it. They were associate producer for it, and I think that's really great and a really valuable thing. And I think internet radio definitely one of the things that are going into the future. Obviously saw that with our show at the university and the Boston Herald called Primary Matters, which was at the Manchester campus. Because you have that capability, all you need is Wi-Fi or internet cables, and then you can have a radio show with the right equipment. So when you have the right equipment, you can pretty much do it anywhere, and it's good. I think that even at the Manchester campus, I would say that one of my favorite things about doing the show was seeing people kind of get interested about oh, what are you guys doing here? You guys are going to do an internet radio show? What? And it's like, I don't know, pretty cool, show exposure. And I remember, one example we got to point out on was obviously one of our first times together, meeting Bernie Sanders. We got the opportunity to meet Bernie Sanders only because of the fact that the Herald had internet radio. They were doing their show at the Manchester campus, and they told us to come over. Invited us over. If they didn't have that show, they probably wouldn't be doing the interview there. They probably wouldn't be doing the interview at all. And we got to meet him,
No,
early
yeah,
on in the
and
campaign.
mutually beneficial for both parties
Yeah.
involved. Now, I want to move from that to my last segment with you, which is you have been writing, and might I say very eloquently lately, my campaign positions. And I
Hmm.
wanted to know, because you write so damn well, where does it come from?
Where does it come from? I think, for me, anyways, writing is kind of one of those things where you kind of just have thoughts that come into your head, about certain things, For someone like say it's writing things about you, Ron, writing about your stances, thinking about where people come from, our age and Democrats especially, and how the best opportunity is to be successful in the upcoming elections. And I think that when you think about those things, and you think about things, just generally, like, you're sitting. Sometimes I'm just sitting, on my couch and watching TV, and I'm, have inspiration to start, thinking about, our future and thinking about, someone like Ron Cooper being in charge of politics one day in this country in a high position. And I think what I want to see. So, and I know that me and you get along really well, so it's pretty easy because your ideas are a lot in line with mine. Now I'm going to say all of our ideas are agree. I mean, I definitely think I have some conservative views, um, but I think generally we have the same views. And I kind of just think of an image of what I would want my perfect candidate to look like, and that I can envision in you. So when I write, sometimes I'll write 15, 20 drafts of something because I just always thinking about a lot of things. When I go to write, like, say, a paper for, like, Professor Cliff or something, um,
Oof, let's not even go there with papers for Professor.
ah, yeah, yeah, but you see what I'm saying. And I think a lot of times thing too, what I do with writing is if I have an idea, I write it down. And with like cell phones now, that's a really great advantage. I think sometimes I'll just be like in the grocery store, waiting in line at the deli, and I'll have a couple of thoughts, what I want to write in, like, say your campaign page, and I'll write it down on my phone, and I'll email it to myself, and I have an advantage of already having my thoughts written out. So I think and I brought that up to someone the other day about that concept of writing things in your phone, and a lot of people don't think of that, but it's a really good advantage of saving time. You say, like, you're outside smoking a cigarette or something or whatever, and then you're like, oh, I got some good thoughts. Maybe I'll write them down so I remember them for later, in case I forget somehow.
Well, thank you, Alex. And
Thanks, Ron.
we'll have you back again soon.
Definitely, bro.
Definitely,
Definitely, bro.
Stay tuned. We will be right back after this commercial break. And welcome back to Fireside Chats with Ronnie. I hope you enjoyed today's show with our guest Matt Scoville, who is station manager for FPTV and a great and wonderful friend of mine, as well as our second guest and director of Politics Fits You, Alex Malm. Until next week, this is Ronnie Cooper signing off. I'll see you in hell, FPU.